Well, Bernie Sanders didn't just win the New Hampshire primary this week. He won it by a massive margin, winning in every demographic category, including among women. But believe it or not, Hillary Clinton actually won the most delegates. What does that mean? This is a reality check you won't see anywhere else.
We won because we harnessed the energy and the excitement that the Democratic Party will need to succeed in November.
Well, after a virtual tie in Iowa, Senator Bernie Sanders clobbered Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire with a huge win. In fact, this was the single largest margin of victory for any non-incumbent in a primary since JFK. But what you probably don't know is that winning a primary isn't exactly what people think. Primaries in both the Democratic and the Republican parties are private club events. They're not public elections. And that means that the parties get to make the rules. Now, what is important about that is that when you vote in a primary, you're not really voting for a candidate. You're actually voting for delegates that will eventually vote for a nominee at either the Democratic National Convention or the Republican National Convention. Make sense? Well, on Tuesday in New Hampshire, here's what happened on the Democratic side. Now, Sanders won the New Hampshire primary with 60% of the vote, or 151,000 plus votes, over Clinton's 38% of the vote, or 95,000 plus votes. Now, because of the way that the Democratic Party assigns delegates, Sanders picked up 13 delegates, Clinton won 9 delegates. But the DNC also has something called superdelegates, party insiders who reportedly know what's best for the party. In New Hampshire, there are 8 of those superdelegates. Those delegates are not bound to the will of voters. They can do whatever they want. And at this point, those Super 8 delegates, they are committed to Hillary Clinton. That means that despite a huge loss in the primary, Clinton will actually leave New Hampshire with 15 delegates to Sanders' 13 delegates. In fact, according to CNN, here's where the delegate count stands with those superdelegates across the country. The Democratic nominee needs 2,382 delegates in order to become the nominee. After a virtual tie in Iowa and a major loss in New Hampshire, Clinton has 431 delegates. Sanders, the winner in New Hampshire, has only 52 delegates. So what you need to know is that, number one, technically those superdelegates, they can change their allegiance whenever they want. And the fact is, if Sanders continues to win these races, they will likely change, because otherwise you'd have an all-out revolution at the Democratic National Convention when voters think they're being cheated. But that's not the point here. The point is that Sanders' momentum, just like the momentum behind Donald Trump, is the rejection of party politics as usual. What voters around the country are about to learn as this contest goes on is that there is a reason that outsider candidates have struggled in the past. The biggest reason? Both parties have protected their primary process for years to make sure that party insiders get to pick the nominee, not the voters. That's a reality check. Let's talk about that tonight on Twitter.